Today I would like to show you how to make Grießnockerl. Grießnockerl, that means Semolina dumplings. And it's fairly easy. You need 40 grams of butter, 60 grams of semolina, and then I have here salt, white pepper, little bit nutmeg, and I use dried parsley because I don't have yet fresh parsley in my garden. And then I have 1 egg. So I just put the spices in my bowl with the butter and pour semolina on top of it. And of course then I put the egg on top of it. Okay, and quickly rinse my hands. And I know some people do that with a machine, but for those small amounts, usually I just use a fork. And I use butter at room temperature. And then you can easily squish the butter and mix the ingredients with a fork. And you don't need to use a machine. Now you mix all the ingredients until you have a smooth dough. That will take a little bit. Make sure that you don't have big butter pieces left over. So that's why I like to use butter at room temperature to make sure everything is nice and soft. So after it's a smooth dough and you don't see any large butter pieces anymore, you just kind of put it together to a nice little pile and let it rest for about 20 minutes. So after about 20 minutes for our Grießnockerl, for our semolina dumpling, we can put them into boiling broth, and you can choose whatever broth you want. So I do have a vegetable broth right now, and what I do is you can use 2 spoons or 1. And I always warm up this 1 spoon a little bit because it's easier to cut them. And you can just shape them with the spoons and push them into the broth gently and make it warm again. And just cut them and shape it to a nice little dumpling. This one is a little bit stubborn. Maybe you cut out that one. And put it in the broth. Make sure they are kind of nice and don't have too many air holes, because otherwise they might fall apart. So I push the dough together in between so I have not too many holes. Okay, and now make sure it doesn't boil too hard. So more let it simmer for about 25 minutes. Turn off the heat completely, let it sit there for an additional 5 minutes, and then you can take out one of those dumplings to see if it's done. If the core is nice and fluffy, it's done. If not, then just let it simmer for 5 more minutes. So now we have finished cooking our semolina dumplings, and just to make sure they are done, I can take them out, or I can take one out and cut it in half, and I can see the middle is nice and soft, and so they are perfectly fine and done. So you can start serving your semolina dumpling soup.